Did you find me or I found you? Big question mark, right? Yes. There's always a question mark. I tell the story of a few blind people, and they are locked up in a room. And the room has a wall, and the door, there's only one door in the room, and that's flush with the wall. You can't see where the door is. So the blind people are trying to find a way out. And they are groping with their hands. And they are trying to find how to get out. Since they are blind, they can't see the door and they can't even know where it is. So they go round and round and say, we don't know. There is a door, we know. We don't know where it is. Then a man who is with eyes walks in and closes the door and looks at these people all running around trying to find the door. So he finds one guy is really running too much. He's too earnest about this door. And he stands in front of him and holds his hand. He said, I can show you the door. I found him. The man says, I found him. He still believes he found him. He cannot even realize that only the guy who had the eyes could find him. And that just because he was able to hold his hands, he had not found him, he was found. The situation with us is identical with that. That we think we have found, we think we have done something, but actually it is the other way around. That we get found. And the strangest part is that we get found by strange coincidences. I think very high of coincidences now. I used to think they're just accidents. But now I know coincidence has deep meaning in it. I find that there are two functions we are performing in our mind and in our consciousness. One is the mental function of reasoning. We reason out things and use logic and take decisions. The other function is intuitive. We use our intuition, a gut feeling, just a hunch. We feel it is it, this is it, without knowing what the reason is. These two feelings are actually coming because of the two different functions of the mind and the soul. Only the mind reasons and the soul has intuition. The consciousness without the mind functions as an intuitive agency. It doesn't require the mind for intuition. So therefore, intuitive knowledge that comes to us comes in a very strange way because we suddenly have a gut feeling. And sometimes it doesn't make any sense. We still know, I feel like that. And you ask, how do you feel? I don't know why, but I know it. That kind of intuitive feeling comes from the soul. Now, what I've noticed is when you have an intuitive feeling, a coincidence happens outside to match that feeling. You have a particular feeling and you go and drive on the road and there's a poster and says one word that resembles what you got intuitively. And just a coincidence. And as more intuitive knowledge comes to you, more of these coincidences start happening. So therefore, I have found that people who are on the spiritual path, the more they advance on the spiritual path, the number of coincidences in their life increase. So that means coincidence is not an accident. It is more than that. So very often, coincidence is a good vehicle that the masters use to find their marked sheep. And so we coincidentally find, and we say, how did that happen? And we're looking for something else and this came up. Or somebody just mentioned it, how did it happen? Or I read a book 10 years ago, it didn't have any effect on me. Now I turned the page, suddenly it has effect on me. So things like that happen and we are led on the spiritual path. So I think coincidence is a very important factor. And masters find us like that. But it's very difficult to recognize a master. It's very difficult to recognize a master. Because a perfect living master will not say he's a master, first of all. He doesn't need to. His work is done without saying anything. Secondly, he will not demonstrate because he wants to be just like an ordinary person. Why does he want to be like an ordinary person? Because friendship is a very essential part of the spiritual relationship with a master. And you cannot be friends with somebody who is totally different from you. Supposing a master flies into this room right now while we're sitting here and he flies to the door and flies right up. We'll all look at him. Say, wow, that's great. Some of us will say, must be some strings attached somewhere. Some will say, this is some kind of magic, what's happening? Some might even faint to see that. But none of us will be friend of that guy. We may even worship him. We may be awe-inspired by him, not friends of him. If he happen to fall down, we'll run to him and say, are you hurt? His chance of a friendship with that guy. Therefore, it's amazing how ordinariness of a master is essential for the experience of friendship with the master. Not only that, also the master has to come to the level of his disciple. And if the disciple is at a level of richness, he has to go to that richness level. As a poor man, he'll be poor for the disciple. He'll be exactly so that the disciple can relate as a friend. Friendship comes as part of the deal with the spiritual relationship with the master. And eventually you find that is even more valuable. In this physical world, it's even more valuable, the friendship. The rest of it is actually, from the point of view of a master, a given. A master is never worried about our spiritual progress. When he initiates us, it's done. From his point of view, it's all done. The rest of it is just a little time. If we have been here for 1,000,000 lifetimes, and it's just a matter of a little time to go. For him, it is done. He's not bothered. He's just seeing how the rest of the life is played out. From our point of view, we think, oh, we are making slow progress. We are not doing enough meditation. We have to work hard now. That's our point of view. The master is not worried about it. He knows he has taken care. He is bound to take us to whom which is made a commitment. So that is why the points of view of the master are different. While this is going on, friendship still prevails. That's a very good thing in the relationship with the master.